Hello, Brad.
All right. There's something very serious to talk to you guys about. So while you're up undivided attention. Years past, the reason we were so successful was us against everybody else. And that's why we're successful. Everybody in this room took it to heart. Our family was growing up against everybody else and everybody else was taking shots. We kind of forgot. The disrespect that was shown in that room, I am still freaking pissed about it. All the other coaches, I want you to understand pride, what it is to be Randolph wrestling. I want you to set aside your little drama board, your selfishness, your baby. I want you to really understand what it's going to be like Saturday when you go into the gym. And I want you to carry a chip on your shoulders. I really do. That's what I expect from my kids. And all it's going to take is you get your mind and get after it. You have what it takes. When it gets tough on the mat, suck it up and get tough. That's how it has to be. You go down by 2 or 3 or 4, get it back. Set the tone from the beginning. Sure, you got a lot of tough guys that you know it for cherries. You're going to want to be tough with them in the beginning. But as I demonstrated to Nick today, someone clocks you like this and gets out. Clock him hard. Whack him. Take a shot at him. You physically abuse him. You set the tone. And that tough guy will start being really big. I don't care what your name is. Fight. Fight. Scratch and claw. Pummel, hand fight, and brutalize. Finish your moves. Attack the head. Defend with the crossface. Punish with your hands. Be a champion.
Well, Big Sookie, that's all, Big Sookie, that's what I can say. And the happiest guy in the room, always happy, always cheerful. But when it gets down to business, he does what he has to do, and that's what matters.
Not only is our head coach, but he's also the heart of our team. Coach Suk really drives us to not only become good wrestlers on the mat, but to prepare us to become men after we graduate high school.
He's made a huge impact. He always gets me on the right track. He tries to impact me in every way, whether it's grades out of school or in wrestling season. He always cares about you 24/7, 365 days a year, and I appreciate that from him.
Suk's just a well-known, respected man. He has a lot of past honors, and people know him because he's been a head wrestling coach for 33 years, so he's got a lot of history and to back him up, and so a lot of people know him, respect him.
State your name, age, and where you grew up.
Mike Suk, age 56, Branchburg, New Jersey, Somerville High School graduate, home of the Pioneers.
Okay, how old were you when you first started wrestling?
Freshman year in high school.
Did you play any other sports? Why did you choose wrestling to be your favorite sport?
I played football, I wrestled, played baseball, and threw track.
Okay, where did you attend college?
Glassboro State College, home of the Profs. Played 2 sports, football and wrestling. Would run from football practice right to wrestling practice because they overlapped. Became a teacher after graduating from college and finishing up my career playing sports at Glassboro State. My first job was at Glassboro High School, right across the street from that.
And then I spent 10 years back in my alma mater, Somerville, where I was head wrestling coach there, assistant football and assistant track. And then past 23 years at good old RHS. There's basically three things I wanted to become when I was younger. Was either a teacher, a farmer, or a wildlife biologist. A person that studied wildlife in the wild, not behind the desk. So I chose teaching because I enjoyed teaching young people character, life skills, and I enjoyed coaching, being involved in sports and activities. I can't sit still very much, so being a phys ed teacher and a coach is a good thing.
What are all the subjects you've taught?
Phys ed, all the health subjects. Driver's ed, 9th, 11th, 12th grade health.
When did you first become a driving instructor?
First become a driver, when I was at Somerville, there was an opportunity to make some extra money, so I went ahead and I've taught over 500 kids how to drive behind the wheel. Most challenging person I ever taught was an adult from Russia who had brought her son here to get treatment because he had cancer. And she always took the bus in Russia, and she needed her license. So my wife had worked with her, and she said, Mike, come on, help me out, teach her how to drive. That was the most difficult task I've ever taught in driving.
What are some of the craziest moments you've had as a driving instructor?
Having this Russian lady stop in the middle of a highway, dead stop, that was one. One of the timidest drivers I had, we were stopped at a stop sign. I worked really hard with them. We were stopped at a stop sign and someone ran into the back of us and just plowed us over. That was a little crazy. I've ripped a wheel out of a number of people's hands before they made a fatal mistake and crashed. Other than that, just your run-of-the-mill stuff.
What are some of your most memorable moments as a coach?
One of the people I looked up to the most was Russ Regal, longtime Hunter and Central coach, and one of the finest coaches. He had one of the best teams. When I was at Somerville, I always would talk to him, ask him questions, and I saw how all the other people were really jealous of him. And I was always fascinated by that because I thought, you know, just because a person does a great job, why should you be jealous? What I did was I talked to him and I tried to learn all I could from him. And one year my Somerville team beat his team. And besides myself and my father who was in the stands, the next happiest person was Russ Regal. He was really happy for me. And I have a lot of respect for him. And he went on to coach where he retired down in Alabama. And he's coached over 4 decades. Another real good memory is my first state champ was Patrick DiTallo and Ali Hakim here at Randolph. That was awesome. And you know, there's a lot of different memories, individual memories where young athletes had success or they overcame adversity in their lives due to a part of me coaching them and the experience of wrestling. So those are all great memories. Having my coaching my own son here at Randolph was an outstanding memory for 4 years. I thought that was really awesome. Just been a really good time for the 34 years. 33 as a head coach and 1 as an assistant. It's a great sport. It's one-on-one. There's no excuses. You can't blame anybody else. If you prepare, you're not guaranteed success. It goes beyond that. And one of the neatest memories I had was I had left Somerville, where I had graduated. I was coaching there 10 years, and we ended up being top 10 in the state a number of years at the end of my tenure there. And when I moved to Randolph, that transition, the year before, and I was my last year at Somerville, we had beaten Randolph here, 32-29. And at Somerville, The next year I had 10 returning starters from that team. And Randolph only had 2 returning starters for the next year. I came here to Randolph, I had to face Somerville again. And that year, every time I come home on a bus, you walk in the gym, it really didn't feel like home because I was so used to being my old gym, you know, with all the people I knew and all town. And we went to wrestle Somerville. And they had those 10 returning starters, and we only had 2 now from Randolph. And we had beaten them the year before when I was at Somerville, Randolph. And we thoroughly trounced them. And my old coach had taken over for me again. So I was going against my old coach. That was a really cool memory. And the thing that stands out most in my mind is when I walked through this gym at about 10:15 that night with my team back, put our stuff away, talk as a group, I felt like I was coming home. And that was the first time that I felt at home here. And that was a game changer. And so now this has become my home.
What are your most memorable moments as a teacher?
There's a lot of those. Just the students. Most of all the students and my coworkers that I've worked with, my colleagues. Those are the special memories that I have of that. Just the fact that you actually can make a difference in a person's life on a daily basis is special, and I enjoy that.
Okay, what would you say is your favorite part about being a teacher and being a coach?
Just being around young adults every day. You know, it's always changing. There's always a different scenario. There's always something going on. It's always changing. It's active. I enjoy the camaraderie and the interaction back and forth. And it keeps you young. And it also helps, it has helped me become the parent that I am. You know, seeing for 34 years, seeing young adults grow up and seeing the things they do, I kind of feel I'm 5 steps ahead of everything that's going on. So that's been a lot of fun.
Coach Suk and I go back to 2014 when I was just in the 8th grade. I had to make a speech at the high school wrestling banquet, and it was kind of a nervous experience for me because I didn't really know anybody on the high school team, but he really welcomed me with open arms. So that's how we first met.
For me, personally, my high school career, without him, I don't think I would have pushed myself as far, you know, and did as many things and accomplished as many things as I could. Like, he showed me that I could do more than I ever thought I could.
Okay, who are some people that have made an impact on your life?
Most of all, my parents. They both passed away a number of years ago from cancer, 7 months apart. So a lot of things that they've taught me, I've hung on to. You know, the values and the morals and the character. Some of the things I've seen my 3 kids go through as far as athletics, adversity, how they've stepped up and really have done a nice job as far as overcoming some really tough obstacles and injuries in their careers and setbacks and disappointments. God is a big influence in my life. Pray every day that He helps me do what's right. And my old wrestling coach in college, Fred Bradley, tremendous man, taught me a lot. And my wrestling coach in high school, Jim Fleming, he was our assistant. Just great people. I got married. It's going to be 32 years. 32 years ago, I got married to my wife, Sharon. And she definitely is the love of my life. She's my partner, she's my teammate. I have 3 children. Christian, who's gonna be 21 this May. He's got a full scholarship to Nichols State, playing baseball down in Louisiana. Currently he's down there. He's had to overcome a really bad knee injury, and he's on his way to healing and stepping up and making a difference for that team. My daughter, Adriana, she is going to be 25 in May. She is in her 3rd year as a teacher. She's head coach of soccer for the last 2 years, which I greatly respect, because I think it's hard to be a head coach in a sport when you're so young. And 1 year after graduating college, she became a head coach. And that's the same time frame that I became head coach in wrestling. I have a lot of respect for her. She does a great job with those kids at North Warren, and she's running her program the way it should be run. My oldest son, Michael, is going to be 27. He's currently going to be in his 5th year playing professional baseball for an independent team, Sussex Miners. This will be his 3rd year. He spent 2 years in Laredo playing professional independent baseball down there, pitching, chasing that dream of making it to the majors. He spent 4 years playing college baseball, 2 at 2 very good JUCO schools down south, and 2 years at Nicholls State in Louisiana. My daughter Adriana was 1 step below professional soccer. In her career, she played on a really good team that toured the East Coast prior to teaching. So those are my 3 kids. I'm proud of them, and they've really done a nice job.
Okay, what's your opinion on the current state of the wrestling team?
The current state of the wrestling team, I think we have to go ahead and continue to work harder. I think they've got to put more time in the off season. It has to become more of a passion to the entire group. I think our school needs to focus more on multiple sport athletes instead of individual sport athletes. And I think that would boost our numbers. And I think we have to get back to the old school, blue collar, hard work, super character, get behind the team and do the job.
I have one last question for you. Today, who do you think would win a wrestling match, you or Coach Salmon?
I'll let Coach Salmon answer that one.
It would be a draw.
I can honestly say Big Sookie's never been defeated.